The internet is aghast because Harvey Weinstein, just a few hours ago, it was announced that his 2020 New York conviction was overturned. So naturally, a lot of people are not very happy about this. So let me just tell you what's going on right now and what the judge said today in the appeals court, and then we'll talk about what this means for Harvey Weinstein and the future. So this is NBC News. Harvey Weinstein's 2020 conviction was overturned Thursday in New York, making way for a new trial. The State Court of Appeals found that the judge in the landmark Me Too, #MeToo, trial prejudiced the former film mogul with improper rulings, including a decision to let women testify about allegations that weren't a part of the case. We conclude that the trial court erroneously admitted testimony of uncharged, alleged prior acts against persons other than the complaints of the underlying crimes because that testimony served no material non-propensity purpose, the court said in a 4-3 decision. So the original decision was pretty close. That was a 4-3 ruling. They continued, the court compounded that error when it ruled that the defendant, who had no criminal history, could be cross-examined about those allegations, as well as numerous allegations of misconduct that portrayed a defendant in highly prejudicial light. I'm sorry, I have allergies, really bad allergies. I'm in Virginia right now. So first, let's just talk about what this means for Harvey Weinstein right now, because I see a lot of people thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to be freed, he's going to be out. No, that's not the case, because even though this got overturned, this is a New York ruling. He's also serving time for a ruling of things that he was convicted for in California, and that's a 16-year sentence. So even if this got overturned, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, what this could mean is that they go to trial. He could be retried on this, which does really stink for the accusers. Obviously, this news stinks for the accusers, and obviously if they have to go back to court and testify again, it stinks for them. But I'm not surprised this is happening. This appeal was in the works ever since the original ruling of that conviction. It's happening now, and we're getting the news right now just because the legal system works really slow. And even if the ultimate truth, not just the truth that was ruled, but the ultimate truth, even if it's on your side, there are rules that you have to follow. In the legal system, you have to follow certain rules. And if you don't, stuff like this can happen. You can get convictions overruled. You can get a mistrial. You can get evidence thrown out. You can get all kinds of stuff that doesn't help your case happen if you don't follow the rules. That's also why you want a really good lawyer, because they're able to catch stuff like this. And if you have a good lawyer, they can get stuff like this. So, and if you want to know exactly what happened in this case, I'll let you know. So there were 3 accusers in this New York case, and they brought in other accusers of separate crimes that were never charged, and that they couldn't even be charged in present day because the statute of limitations had run up. So there was never a day in court for these accusations, and they were allowed to come to court and testify, and he was allowed to be cross-examined on those testimonies, and he was never charged for that. So that's where the argument comes from, and that's where they're saying that the judge's ruling was on prejudice and knowledge, because this is knowledge that had nothing to do with the court, and these were things that he has never properly been charged of or convicted of. So that's where that comes from. Now, sometimes you can have outside things. You can prove a pattern of behavior. For instance, if someone is accused of attacking another individual and they have a history of violent outbursts, you could present that as a pattern of behavior. But again, that is per circumstance, and obviously opinion matters in that as well. So that's what they're arguing. That's what this is. And this is normal. Stuff like this happens. Unfortunately, stuff can get thrown out if you make a big mistake, if you don't follow all the rules. So it'll be really interesting. But as you can imagine, a lot of people have reactions to this. Let's see. So the judge also said courts routinely admit evidence, or someone said courts routinely admit evidence of other uncharged acts where they assist juries in understanding issues concerning the intent, modus operandi, or scheme of the defendant. Douglas H. Widger, an attorney who has represented 8 Weinstein accusers, slammed the decision and said it is a major step back, holding those accountable for acts of violence. And then he did say that courts routinely admit this evidence. Yes, but again, it's a matter of argument. It's a matter of circumstance. It's a matter of opinion. And that was the appeals judge's opinion today. The court has continued a disturbing trend of overturning juries' guilty verdicts in cases involving this type of thing. Interesting. Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. That's all of the news so far. Yep, there it is.